We all know Wash is a special place, and we're fortunate to have spent the past 4 years here. I have a lot of fun memories, but a few of my favorites are school dances, camping at the leadership retreat, messing around with friends during the downtime at show choir competitions, after-school slice of jazz practices, our Mads Christmas performances, and soccer season with the boys. For me, high school has been a grind of balancing schoolwork, sports, choir, and a social life. But one thing it has taught me is that the friendships and memories are worth it, and you can rest when you're old. I want to give a special shout out to Mr. Westphalen and Miss Farley for making my time in the choir department so enjoyable. All my teachers at Wash for making my classes fun to be in, but especially Senior Burke for the Guatemala experience, Mr. Hilton for his comedy during class time, Mr. Johnson for introducing me to biology, and Miss Wright for giving me hugs in the hallway. Thanks to all the coaches at Wash, but specifically Coach Graham for pushing me the past 4 years, and more importantly being a role model and reminding all of us that there's a life beyond high school and sports. I can't forget, shout out to Quizlet and Photo Math.
Hey Warriors, I'm sure we can all agree we never expected a global pandemic to run its course right through the heart of our final years at Wash. Reading the letter from 5th grade me, who is apparently a very high expectation setter, makes for a bittersweet finale to some of the best years of my life, given that many Washington traditions had to be given up this year. Despite the high hopes my 11-year-old self had, 18-year-old me is nothing less than grateful, fulfilled, and proud that I can call myself a warrior. Shout out to Mr. DJ Ballard for his incredible support and hard work to attain a great final year, despite the circumstances. Shout out to the teacher who trusts me enough to babysit his kids, and the one I've always addressed as coach, besides never actually having had him as one. You're the man, Graham. Last but not least, shout out to our phenomenal extracurricular programs for providing me the opportunity to meet some of the best friends I've ever made. Shout out Mr. Westphalen, Mrs. Farley, Coach Hart, and Coach Nickel for constantly pushing me to be the best I can be. I'll never forget all the 7-hour track meets in which I only actually spent about 90 seconds competing in, Sprinter Gang for life, or the endless amounts of hairspray we used to hold the iconic show choir hairstyles in place. Definitely worth all the first place finishes. I thank the Wash community for so many unforgettable memories. It will truly always be a great day to be a warrior.
What does Wash mean to me? Community. I have found a great sense of community in the activities I have participated in the past 4 years. These would be STEP, Voices of Excellence, and Sister to Sister. All of those combined have allowed me to express my true identity. Finding my identity through Wash has led me to join many things such as the Academy SPS, the NAAC Youth, and many other groups. Shout out to Ms. Swayze for staying through the late nights at school for practices, the many successful performances, and the buying us pizza every now and then. Shout out to my second mother, Miss Wright, for always letting me chill in her room whenever I needed it and always being there for me. Lastly, shout out to Simone for not beating me when I broke her light with a recycling bin.
The class of 2021 has had an interesting high school experience, to say the least. We've faced unbelievable challenges and will soon find ourselves entering into a world with more unknowns than ever before. But with every challenge we've faced, we've grown. And Washington High School, with its faculty, administration, and extensive community, has been there to help us do so. It feels like just yesterday my freshman self was sitting in the courtyard during lunch, staring at my tray with only the unidentifiable yet vaguely familiar canned fruit remaining, waiting to head inside and listen to that one weird Spanish teacher ramble on about the nosotros conjugation of irregular IR verbs. Yet here we are, about to leave these halls we as a collective we haven't actually stepped foot in for over a year. Off to take the world by storm and shape the tomorrow we wish to live in. That's the goal, at least. So here's to new beginnings. Thanks for putting up with us, Wash. It's been fun. And shout out Dr. Kaler. Hope that man's doing well.
There are too many things to say in order for me to perfectly describe what Wash means to me. What I can do is admit that Wash, specifically its performing arts department, has changed the course of my life and made me a much happier and better person. Miss Tankum and everyone in speech has changed me from someone who hardly ever speaks into someone who hardly ever stops speaking, which is a good and bad thing. Wash is a place where I've finally figured out what I love and where I've had hundreds of moments that have made me laugh and cry. Here are some of those people most involved in those moments. Shout out to Isaac and Josie for being the best improv co-captains one could have. Shout out to my speech friends. Shout out to the trumpet section, the best section. Shout out to Mr. Nell and Ms. Moss for being the nicest, most underrated teachers at Wash, and shout out to the improv team as a whole. Out of everything here, you've allowed me to become who I am the most. Finally, I'd give a shout out to Mr. Hill, but he already gets too many shout outs, so unshout out to you.
What does Washington High School mean to me? Nothing. I mean, It's just a building. Concrete, brick, and glass. Football, show choir, and ACTs. No. Wash means nothing to me, but it's us Warriors that bear significance. When I look at us, I see potential. I see students finding themselves and teachers changing lives. I see Wash. I see smiles, fights, and bullies, advocacy and struggles, but most importantly, I see you. One of the most important letters in the alphabet. You. For all change starts with it. Wash is a place to start something and build onto it, whatever it may be. So start your life and build the steps to your dream. Because it doesn't matter how many times you fail, but how many times you get up. Whether you sit at home with your camera off or here at Wash in the classroom, Wash is a place for change, for discovery, for evolution. So change.
When asked the question, what Washington means to me, I think of the many opportunities and relationships I've had over the last 4 years. I'll always remember the band playing in the halls on game day or the rush of excitement when the ball was snapped. Shout out to Coach Blue for pushing me to become better on the field and as a student. He also showed me that you don't have to be fast to enjoy track. To my teachers that strove to push me that extra mile, helping me venture out of my comfort zone. I couldn't describe Washington without mentioning Student Senate. I've enjoyed all the bonds that were made with every group. Thank you to Miss Derrick for being one of the biggest role models in my life and for always having my back. What I learned from Washington is that you have the chance to meet so many people while being involved in so many different activities. For all of my fellow Warriors who aren't seniors this year, I encourage you to take advantage of all Washington has to offer. I am proud to graduate as a Warrior.
Wash has done many things for me in the past 4 years. The one that sticks out the most is how being a Warrior has made me the person I am today. I cannot imagine who I would be if I hadn't gone to Wash. The characteristics that Wash has taught me are 1. To be open-minded, 2. To be accepting of one another, and 3. To cherish the moments we have together. Our teachers do a phenomenal job of teaching us to be open-minded because every once in a while you need to walk around in other people's shoes to see their perspectives. Being accepting of others is one of the most important things you will need to be able to do all throughout your life. Not one person you will meet is going to be like the next, but that's what makes that person memorable. The last thing that I have learned is quite possibly the most important thing to remember, to cherish every moment with your friends. I only realized this during my senior year, and I wish I had way earlier. At the beginning of freshman year, I couldn't wait until I was a senior and when I would be able to graduate. Now that it's here, I wish I could go back and relive every moment over just one more time. Thank you, Wash, for making me the person I am today.
Washington High School to me is a place where you can find yourself. I found friends, family, and a passion to learn at Washington High School. Wash has always had a special place in my heart growing up. From watching graduating classes before us play football from the sidelines as a ball boy to being able to play myself, I knew my whole life I wanted to be a Warrior. And now that I am, I will be forever. I would not be who I am today if I had not been given the opportunities and experiences. Thank you, Washington staff, for providing all of the students with what they need to succeed and more. And thank you, classmates, for making my high school experience as great as it could be.
Hey guys, this is Ella Shaw, and I would like to tell you a little bit about what being part of Washington High School means to me. High school may seem scary at first, but once you get used to it by making new friends and trying new things, it won't seem scary anymore. I remember what Buster Moon said in the movie scene. Don't let fear stop you from doing the things you love, and get a good night's sleep and dream big dreams. I would like to say thank you to Mrs. Swayze, Mrs. Oldag, and Mrs. Cook for helping me grow from a little girl to a young woman and giving me the skills to succeed after graduation. Mrs. Tinkham and all my speech coaches for seeing potential in me and giving me the opportunity to shine. I would also like to thank my family for supporting me with my homework, for encouraging me to try new things, for pushing me to get through band, especially during the scorching hot camps and the freezing cold football games, and for believing in me in mime and individual speech. How else would I have gotten to be an all-state dragon tail and clock? As my favorite glass slipper wearing princess says, have courage, be kind, and always believe in magic.
Transferring to Wash last year put me in the right place at the right time. The teachers and staff provided me with a loving and supportive environment where I learned to value myself and heal from the past. At Wash, they teach us to have PRIDE.
While I do have integrity, there is a lot of people who I have zero respect for. I might be one of the most blunt and upfront people you will ever meet. Etiquette is not something that I do. But I do know that you are capable of incredible things. You are beautiful, you are unique, you are enough. But if you're struggling to believe these, don't be afraid to cry in a bathroom stall.
Hey Wash! I've had a really wonderful high school experience, and that's in large part to the teachers who, especially this past year, have worked endlessly to make Wash a great place to be. Thanks, Mr. Hill, for making math sort of fun for the past 3 years and for putting up with all of my shenanigans. Shout out, Mr. Graham. Catch you at the Longs Peak Trailhead at some point in my life. Thanks, Mr. Sloma, for nerding out over books with me. A huge thank you to Mrs. Farley, Mr. Westphalen, Mrs. Tinkham, and Mr. Willems. Choir, speech, and drama have been my favorite activities at Wash. Thanks for creating such a fun community to be a part of. Shout out Doc, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Nell, Miss Fishwild, Mr. Burke, Mr. Ballard, and all of the rest of the Wash teachers. I appreciate you guys more than you know. It's always a great day to be a Warrior.
I started my freshman year more often absent than present, with my heart set on dropping out. Because of you, I found purpose in my tribulations. It's an art. In some twisted way, just the opportunity to dread moving on as much as I am is a blessing in itself. I'm afraid this gift is of one I can never truly repay. And still, you all somehow have given me the courage to try. So before I begin the rest of my life, I'd like to pay forward this hope to my underclassmen with a quote from my favorite novel, The Catcher in the Rye. Many, many men have been just as troubled morally and spiritually as you are right now. Happily, some of them kept records of their troubles. You'll learn from them, if you want to. Just as someday, if you have something to offer, someone will learn something from you. It's a beautiful reciprocal arrangement. And it isn't education, it's history, it's poetry. So to my freshmen, you have too much potential to give up now. All will be okay in the end. If it isn't okay, then it isn't the end. I promise your story will one day bring this hope to someone else.
Over my years at Wash, I have gotten to participate in my favorite activities, learn more about my academic interests, and, most importantly, meet a variety of personalities. That is really what this high school is about. We could have the best AP scores or the best sports teams, but they do not mean anything without our student body. Washington High School is a place for students of diverse backgrounds and interests to collaborate and see eye to eye. I know that, as I go out into the world after graduation, I'll be better off than many of my peers because I came from a school that not only had a myriad of distinctive individuals, but celebrated everyone's differences. And I know that other Washington graduates will be the same. Whether one is neuroatypical, or minority, or in any part unique, they can find a place here at Wash. That is what Washington High School means to me, a place where those who are different get to be heard and welcomed.
What Washington High School has meant to me feels like it can't be spoken with words. It has felt like a second home to me for the past 4 years. Dedication is something I struggled with for a while, like anyone else first starting what felt like a new life in a new place. But once it came to me, everything ignited like a fuse, and my high school years went by like a cannonball flying through the air. Dedication has always been there, watching over, throwing tests and obstacles and everything else challenging at me to see if I keep going. And based on where I am now, even if my grades don't agree sometimes, I feel like I've passed and won. But high school is almost over. I have college to look forward to for the next 4 years that will bring me even more challenging obstacles to get through, which will require more dedication from me. But with the spark that Wash has given me over the years, I feel prepared for anything that gets thrown my way. Even if it doesn't work out, I'll still be proud of myself and try again. Shout out to all my teachers over the past 4 years. Shout out to Mr. Miller and Mr. Nagel for believing in me and making me want to continue band. Shout out to everyone in band. Y'all are the best. Shout out to my parents for encouraging me with anything I do. And shout out to Megan Bennett for always being there for me no matter what.
Washington High School is where I found myself. It's filled with so much love, diversity, and kindness. When I first moved here, I was astonished by how much passion the school held. I met so many people with so many backgrounds and learned a lot about the characteristics they held. I love how the teachers here take care of their students and want the best for them. My personality has grown here, and I've become a stronger person because of it. I've always felt that I mattered to someone here at Wash, and I believe that every person should have that feeling of belonging. I took advantage of all the opportunities Washington has. Here at the school, I had fun. I've had so many memories, and I'm so grateful Washington gave me the joy I have felt these last 3 years. I want to tell all of you 2021 graduates that this is our time. It's finally here for us to shine and go out and start our lives. Let's go do great big things, and I'm so excited to see what we will do in this future.
To me, Wash is a place that I've learned to love over the past 4 years. I've met so many different people, and I've made plenty of friends that will stick with me for the rest of my life. Wash has helped me learn and grow as a person, sometimes pushing me out of my comfort zone, but in doing so, leading me down paths I'd never taken otherwise. I've been able to experience so many different things throughout my time at Wash, including diversity workshops and leadership retreats, as well as my favorite, participating in so many different activities. If I wasn't playing a sport, I was hanging out with friends or practicing for whatever drama production I was involved in at the time. While participating in multiple choir ensembles as well as different shows at Wash, I met so many amazing people that I get to call my friends, as well as learn so many new things that I will continue to use in the future. Although going off to college can be a scary thing, I'm grateful for everything that Wash has taught me in the past 4 years, and I know that my time here was well spent.
What does Washington High School mean to me? Well, it goes beyond screaming the "We Eat Cougar Meat" chant at the top of our lungs at Kennedy Student Section on Friday night football games at Kingston every fall. It goes beyond spending the night at Camp Wapsie freezing our butts off with 100 fellow Warriors at the leadership retreat. It goes beyond running that dreaded deep six that Coach Grant makes us do every year during preseason workouts. It's about the connections you make and the people you get to call family through 4 years of going through the grind together. The teachers and staff at Wash have been so unbelievably supportive over the past 4 years, and I cannot be more grateful for that. Shout out to Mr. Anderson for making Algebra 2 the most fun math class I've had. Shout out to Mrs. Finn for believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. Shout out to Mr. Wood for always answering the dozens of questions I have about investing in the stock market. And I could go on and on, but I'll keep this short. Don't take your 4 years at Wash for granted, because I promise they'll go by faster than you think. And to the class of 2021, we faced some real adversity over the past year, and I'm proud of each and every one of you for making it this far. No matter where life takes us after graduation, always remember, it's a great day to be a Warrior.
Hey everyone, this is Tyler Anderson, the girl. Thanks Hatcher for marking me absent for the first week of freshman year because you were looking for a boy. Anyways, switching to public school as a freshman was a leap out of my comfort zone. Little did I know that decision would be life-changing. I am so thankful for my years at Wash for shaping me into the woman I have become. Thank you for all who have shared a little part of who you are with me along the way. Because of relationships I have formed with students from all walks of life, cultures, and backgrounds, I have been able to see the world through a new lens. Washington has shaped my heart and future, and for that, I will be grateful. There are many programs, clubs, and organizations offered through school, but my greatest education here was my connection to the community. My experience with Iowa Big opened my eyes to career paths and changed my vision for my education. With love and appreciation, thank you Mrs. Dolmeyer, Coach Graham, Coach Blue, and Mrs. Rouse for your dedication to my success. And as painful as it is to admit, thank you Mom and Dad, you have been right about everything.
I wanted to kick off by saying thank you to Washington staff for nominating me. It means so much to me, and I'm so honored to represent the senior virtual homecoming choir. What does Washington mean to me? I came to Wash with the lowest English skills. Here I am today, appreciating all the staff and the students for helping me through with everything. Washington is incredibly unique. We all bring something really special to contribute to the school, which makes it so unique. I do feel like it is my home away from home. It isn't just my school, like it is my home. It is absolutely more than that. It also offers so many different opportunities to get involved with. It is up to us as students. And lastly, the incredibly people I've met made such an impact on me, and it is a feat for everyone. Time to shut up. To Mr. Smith, Miss B-Rock, Miss Stahl, for all ELO class program more than you make it special, more like learning space. Ms. Schneider for introducing me to your bookshelf, which I fell in love with. Dr. Samakovich memory that I will always cherish. Madam Nico, I could never ask for a better coach. And Sarah, you're my best friend.
What does WASH mean to me? Coming from a French-speaking country to an English-speaking country was a challenge for me. As a freshman in 2019, I couldn't speak a single word in English, but thanks to these amazing ELL teachers who helped me learn and be able to interact with other students. And also, thanks to Madame Nico, who really played a big role to where I'm at right now, even though you didn't share your popcorn. Shout out to Dr. Samkovic, who helped me grow as a student to a humble human being. Washington High School has given me the opportunity to try anything and everything I wanted to. Not just that, but also thrive as a student, despite the language barrier, age differences, and being the confused twins. That one hurts. Over the past 3 years, I've developed a bond with people I used to see as strangers. Shout out to all my friends and my homegirl Rachel. Yo, tough guy, my boys? Nah. Shout out to my 2019 soccer varsity team. Great job making it third in state, boys. If you ask me what Washington means to me, simple. One spirit, one family. I'll always be proud to be a Warrior.